ye chesadi and a pabia the man of Frasa Ria Fedi Dikeke. About Frakodina Okutani Sadi. Sadi are your $4 over United States of America. Brother Nadu free education when you by this time. Not education now pro. But then I'm a friend now person and see Chontra Mani Mahamaso. Opiasa a Yuzu, William Mizaha, William Mizu. Opiano school them was William Mizu. Time of you. Education and Koye, Raga Mama, when you are to Forsen, and the vice president, Professor General Pokrajama. I need you for staff. Yabisham. What the Mubasha Swama can afford 2028. Sequani said, yeah, can afford to Abamamo, and the school number Fred Pia, and the school them not for and young man a school of Flam Water was it Sacre. So Sacre. Abo friend what is good them no. Sadi na ye dia man wa wiem na ni ache and what kwa enuma wato no. Utunum say yes. Bibia gura pala no.
Attempt to subvert the
tabo na hwema Mesi school ni akwala no. And the wato no kra na. Na ni agem wo we sadi $4 a day. The be a map of $4 for Sadi. Osume akwalaba kwese. $4 Sadi every day. And you want some of Frano, Ubia Kutani Sadi. And then Ubia Tonuma, and then Mofrano Crado. 24-hour economy.
Attempt to subvert.
And the excellency John Dramani Mahama, I must school near Columbia 1 Saturday a day. Sadi Huka Africa marketer. $3 to $4. Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, a baby and Kwalan Money, what can swap the education, what can say what Baba says here, and the Funa, na Kufa the Mama. And Tino Wabaso, the Reseticana, Tino Uda Baby, school from Palano, we had your moya, and in your motor, our friend Pianiati was school, or be a finish of a so could be. And Mom. Send you what him your mouth bofra. Pia said, Tima mekake, Sadi Rima mekake. Bad tax no. Match ye bad taxes in Africa. Match ye love ye come. Ye resete kana, na kana ye. And the school yakwala. At me did document and some school. Police of a video tosman. And the premier video will be feeling excellency. Oh, I feel you so much. We are powerful. We are too much excellency, your mama. Yeah, well, we are your mama. And who call classroom. About Fred the Sadi Bakundi Dokro. Me and Sa, the visitor. Go, no, and I will be. School time. Free education. No. John Dramani Mahama Casa Bobayan Yawayan Yampa. And the woman red classroom about Fredin Kabakomi and Sa. I could find watch. Mr. Senna, the Eleven and Quality. Kalano no more phone fire to such talk. But then that, Shania, Dokonia, the good board, and the Disi Homa Kalano. A Kalani Yutum were the and was Sadi for Flatum, Dokuni Sadi. Sadi Bako, I almost $4. Excellency John Dramani Mahama say every day school near Kwala be Sadi was school. And to be catching Mosai, December manga. Me can answer this election. See a problem, John Dramani Mahama. Free education, a better best free education in West Africa. Tama would to so Excellency your mama about a good free education. You are pay your money. And Doctor Papa, Mako Papa, Sadia Quality, a quality will cost school, a grandma Philip Class of the school. Or the Philly some mama, Famiko education in the more double track you come. Double track, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Police are saying video, and you know, where young crowd can come ye, can sit ye, what the Sardine Sardine Musuno. I don't know. When we change the Kume so about Frebia one sadi, about Frebia one sadi, about Frebia one sadi, about Frebia one sadi, no did the crown. Be at the making will be beside and a quick cat walk kind of sardine away. Ah, sardino, I mean, you have a friend sadi or one way job. When we sadi pa, Excellency John Dramani Mahama Daruma, and the Yamanu we sadi was cool. When the young folk come to Dramani Mahama Daruma. Papa, Ghana mania school phone call as one of us. Ghana Kwalas one of us, and your grandpa who could have the moon. Nano Susa, Sana Tema with me, that one. Sana Satimantem, you fool, one keke. And said, a school from Pala, the BBS, Samana, Sabi catches, and let's see your mama. Some of friend in Kanakomi and Sa with Nesadia. No more person, see John Many Mahama. Apostle said, when you pay my muya, when you pay ampa, what castle obey, what jampa. Sadi the photos of you. Worry Sardino, not the Crumianu, the Crum 9 and Guboba Kum, what would be Rian where you from? The Cruno, a Gubom, boom, and woman to Makuna Guboba Kum. What we are, or you the Kuno Tum, you know that. What did be another we are? Both can say that we don't say the Kukumaka, the open watching. School Yama flow, and I hear from our way. You can't tell me, say the 2 master and see your mama, or betting me a Yama proso. And now I know what can say. Double track, Yamutu, Yakem. And Celestia, you double track a flavor. When you're feeling leader, Abana, you're 20 year catcher say, to about penny young fashion, what about what you know so bad when you're home fashion? You go come up of any. Yes, idea of Flannery. The Kuku bomb and the way you mean no good plate and worthy. And some young way you did the Kubo not the Kum. I'm a friend of a free school panel, or the best in when young when you're potty, and why fefe. In Tiana, who was school from Kalana, will be a Cosquan Wasser, will be a Cosquan Nyache, will be a Cosquan, not the whole process of education. When you're free education, and you're free education, your process are more said, your process sense of fit. And the Wuko school tema, school Quality, now and you might want to understand. You need that swimming in your mama. So a man can you. no ye and then ye. And then we are the partner who was school down the one of us free education and Masota and the Waho. And the one America budget out of my near woo. More MPP, nine, among us, we are some people. So me and this MPP for nothing again. Or more than more. I think I can do Japan Catamon. Canada can what's MPP for? When Jimmy. Obi kutani swade na wobe ye kan ye because when this swade na wunti we suppose to me and na wo ba we one sadi MPP ni no ba no school bi wo kobi so we sadi ba ko we di dokro mi enu ebo but more pension pension pan ye di no gari man kwala muwa MPP muwa faso bi eni mo so mo te se mu wura no wada ma no chimiye sa chimiye montana opposition wa forever niema salasi kwai na on reset kalamai match si haye obi amfantu kamidi tuga match sure na record bitwo bad tax jamu to the camp levy no more match when we 24-hour economy of budget and Kokon Ketina, no one count myself, Nana MPP for the South Marcasami and Kokodibino, and Kokon Ketin, who was Asia. Who was Asia 10 years, make Obian come in Tremi. My buffalo catch him straight. Who was Asia? Almost the bank people. You better catch us a Kobank on the Quachilo. What the Wasas and the Conwell register. It is Asia. So, by young Kokon Ketin be a pass center. But we now more to the assassin because dear me when you be not catching me. Dear my boss for catching me, say, who assassin a car, no more register, who do assassin cratano, and qua, your bachelor bank giving what question loan. Now they are starting. Now, loan now, what question, okay, we say. Kakranka, we know, dear. What about Baba, Kokon is a good year, and that's what you're doing. And Kokon, the idea to listen. And the woman the veterinarians for Pepper, Abba Muano. Never to be Bosumi be up a bed to my witch and so we get now. We not pay until you're ready in the land. All pass as a man per 1 acre, per 20 acres going, Cheniantam, Nacopresso, we are for Bobo, Chasiantam. This year be a keeping static, pass as a tour. I'm what me they will plan, no ventures and then channel the aqua. No pa, ya travel bank out with the Macomba, which is Kadia Bayan Kokon. The Sikana, a budget tech. And the date you say, and then you February 11th, na Kwakusket Makamu. Upian kind. The bedroom on the bloggers, Munka, Kwakusket Maka, they say, March, first budget hairban, a woman, 11 Yamutu. 11 Yamutu, bad tax Yamutu. I did be my buffalo can be checked. Toe, on better committee woman. Actually, I can transcend a toe once a map. But in Kukon Ketwana me hear me. Sunday, you started for education now. Double track a criminal. And you might turn up past your excellence, was as you so bit me. And Kokon Ketwano, my boss for not catching me, and you'll be not catching you. The son die. The son Diano, not a binding castle will be a Wukutas, for Wasas in the bra, the angel baby no quachi, Pessia. No more quachi Bessia now, will soon be a baby make my waiting. You bet my doctors have a young Kokono, because of Kokon, the idea Simon. The son that Sana Kosu Wakan, the Musaka of Fobe Yesica for. We can say Kusia and then Coco a Pupe and my yes, she poopy Quamanane. And in the car, who said, you will not see you now, Wabayano, and Pepe Wate, and Pepe.
mapa, Gunimde, adorable.
Let us say, someone being Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, we can't hold to a me say, Oba reset Ghana, na Ghana Gigi. Next story, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Eba office, ne defia ebiasa. The cat defia ebiasa. Also, the muya of the 30 days. 30 days. The first 120. 30 days, the ebiasa. And your mouth, Paje. Ulma Kasa. On the fellow for Suquatum. O Maki Kensi, new. The person time a po. Na me knew me, no. The Beshadia Kwaku. Na young said, Papa, some quarter field was sure be and that's what sure be. Ah, 30 days. What we are here, yes, and you may. Patch up. Mamma knew me and you told the cat. You could see. Jail.
Days in office, we will hold a national economic dialogue to draw up a 4-year fiscal consolidation plan. We would rationalize taxes, abolishing, among others, the obnoxious e-levy.
Constitutional honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
My brothers and sisters, it is with tremendous humility that I accept this clear mandate that you, the good people of Ghana, have given me to lead this great nation as your next president.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Asemparabo, 24-hour economy.
Yeah, one month of our president, President John Mahama's in office. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. It's good that we have a change. And then the whole Ghana has become great. Because the country now, for the 8 good years past, we are in a cage, like how the food Ghanaians in cage. As if I could, like our former MP, Kennedy and the one said, Ghanaians in a cage. So we are in cage too. So that very day, the Ghana become great.
You will say, yeah, Papa. I are the food of soup on any package, or doing that nipper. Essence of blue or doing nipper. I know so, yeah, they are on Siani Papa, who is so. They are how no mountain. You would be a how, now sharp wow. Until near found, I'm not going to be at my found this one.
His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, signed a social contract with the good people of Ghana to reset the damaged economy with an all-hands-on-deck approach, improving governance, restoring public trust in institutions, and improving people's living conditions are huge tasks for any government.
Is the hope we need. He's the hope. He's the hope for our
This 120-day social contract encompasses 26 key initiatives. These include economic reforms, governance standards, prudent expenditure, justice and compensation, policy reviews, including education, and the fight against corruption.
As for recovering any youth, it must be on top of the agenda of any government because corruption bites so hard. This work that I do, the fact that people amass so much wealth and deprive others, that is why we get the kinds of vulnerabilities we see. The link is so direct that if you don't deal with looted items, corruption, you are going nowhere. So we agree with Oral. The Attorney General's Department has specific instruction. I expect the Attorney General to make sure Oral keeps within its legal mandate. Okay, I disagree with people who say it's not constitutional. I disagree. I think that even here, people can come here and report that crimes have happened to them in their homes. Then we take it up and then we let it go to the police. So I don't see why a committee cannot do that kind of thing. We won't do what the police does, but we receive the information. Okay, so the most important thing is that oral does not overstep its bounds. That will open it up to challenges. And you know the way the Ghanaian courts can be very active when it comes to these things because they will apply the law. Okay, so just don't overstep your bounds. Do what is necessary. Give it to the institutions and let them work. And I believe that with somebody like Dominic Ayene, who many of us know, we expect him to do a good job.
President Mahama admits there is no breathing space. A day after his inauguration, he held a crucial meeting with the African Development Bank.
Significant players in the global economy, key development partners. As we speak, we are under a program. So it is not possible to take over power and seek to do a few things regarding the economy and not engage these important stakeholders. So those meetings were intended to place the president's cards on the table, to indicate to them clearly what the direction will be, and have dialogue as to how the current IMF program can be tailored to meet the exigencies of the time and what accommodations can be made to ensure that the economy is brought back on track. Because currently, the economy is in pretty bad shape, and very soon the figures will become apparent to all.
That same week also saw an order to the IGP to investigate election killings, termination of the appointments of all metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, MMDCEs, and prompt actions that averted doom so.
Through determined efforts, I can report that we have now averted the looming threat of power outages and began delivering fuel to the thermal plants in the east in advance of the shutdown of the West African gas pipeline. And Honorable General, I want to congratulate you for working very hard.
The previous government had refused, or if you like, failed to meet important obligations regarding the purchase of fuel to fire thermal plants because the imminent shutdown of the West African gas pipeline for routine maintenance as far back as October. That maintenance ought to have been carried out. The government itself pleaded for time, 4 months deferment to enable it to put its house in order and purchase for. Yet they were unable to do so. And because of that, it had led to some crisis. On the very first day that we took office, it became clear that we had $200 million to be able to ensure that if the pipeline was shut down for 2 months consecutively, we would not sleep in darkness. So the president had to convene that meeting under the chairmanship of the chief of staff. And within a matter of hours, the outcome of the meeting produced results. As I speak to you, significant parcels of fuel have been brought into fire thermal plants. So we have averted what would have been a debilitating energy crisis. And unless there's any major catastrophe, we should be able to weather the storm as far as that goes.
National security and safety are key on President Mahama's agenda. This pledge is tied to the implementation of the 24-hour economy policy, and he has the full support of the heads of security agencies, who pledged full allegiance before his visit to Kwaku and Maleribu on Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, exactly a week after his inauguration.
Mr. President, I want to assure you that we are going to continue with even greater zeal to ensure that we maintain the security and stability of this country. I want to assure you of our unflinching support and dedication, as I said, to duty, and make sure that we help you to achieve or realize your objective of resetting Ghana. Mr. President, once again, thank you very much for receiving us this morning. We are grateful. We wish you the best. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
From the recent appointments that have emanated from the President's office, you can see clearly that even if there is an article of Parliament establishing a Ministry of National Security, this president, and he's going back to the original conceptualization of national security by having a coordinator and a few staff around him to, coordinate the functions of that office.
More women have found themselves in President Mahama's new government, which will operate with fewer ministries, a slash from 30 to 23.
He's pushing very, very hard to meet the commitments of gender involvement in his government and the presidency. There are 48% women working here. Out of 27 people, 13 are women, which is unprecedented. It's quite high. At some point, by the end of the first 2 weeks of his government, there were 27% women representation in his government. That is a significant step forward, and he's pushing hard to meet the 30% quota. He has indicated that the remaining appointments will reflect that particular desire because he values the contribution of women. If you go to the vice president office, it is 60-40 in favor of women. There are 6 women as against 4 men. That is 60%. I don't think that ever happened in our history. Indeed, the biggest testimony of all is the vice president herself, who represents Ghanaian women in extraordinary ways because it is the first time that a Ghanaian woman has ascended to that height in governance in our country. And it is a significant moment in our history that we should acknowledge.
Right from choosing Professor Nana Jane as his running mate, and Nana is quality, we know. I mean, there's no perfect human being, but she's quality. Because of my interest in women's empowerment, I am very happy to see that he is really working hard to include women in his appointments. The initial ones came and it was good, 28%. Then there was a whole list that had just one woman. It sort of dampened our spirit a bit. But then we saw that a number of CEOs were being appointed as women, his presidential staffers, the vice president's appointments, of her staffers and so on. And it's quite impressive. Okay, but we don't want it to remain just about appointments, though there are many more to go. We know that. We also want it to be about working on issues that enhance equality between women and men. Actually, the de facto and de jure.
42 ministers, including regional ministers, have so far been nominated.
As the ministers are approved by Parliament and as they are sworn in, I'll proceed to name deputy ministers for some of the ministries, which will bring the total ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana.
I think the first month of Mama's appointment, I can see his consistency of what he says from campaign till now. That what is good, the number of ministers he's going to have maintained, and then how he's going to run the country. You can see the setup that is on course.
I believe his appointment is one way to show that he's really serious about the country, because I believe he's giving the youth a chance. Because when you want an appointment, you can realize, okay, the names, the age range is futuristic. So I believe it's positive.
So far, in terms of their age, perfect. The only thing that I hope that the age will go with competence. You see, it is not always the case that the mere fact that the person is young will be able to perform. We have very young ones who don't know their left from right, just like adults or elderly people who don't know their left from right. So being young is one thing, and being or having the ability to perform is another thing. It's a good thing. Elsewhere, young ones are made to learn at tender age from people who are occupying position. It does not seem to be the case here. We need to learn, and I believe that those that have been given the opportunity must take a cue to encourage future appointees.
I mean, the appointees are also quite young, which is a good thing, but they're not really young and not informed, because most of them are persons who had worked in the previous administration, and so they have some knowledge that they bring to the table or to the positions. To the extent that they are mostly young, it's also very revealing. I mean, look at the Central Regional Minister, he has 34 years. The guy uses a lot of wisdom, he speaks well. I think people like that, if they are practical enough,
Let us be knowledgeable. You go for. President Obama was fully aware of the task ahead. You could see, of course, that having taken power, you see more than you could see when you were in opposition. But he's been very, very clear. I don't need a legion of ministers to get the job done. And when he inaugurated the third batch of ministers, he made it clear that there's no correlation between a large government and delivery. Because we saw it in the previous administration. At some point, we had 125 ministers. And yet, that was the period where some of the biggest problems this country has ever faced in all sectors occurred.
The agenda to reset Ghana is on course. Committees in charge of reviewing the constitution, education, assessing the state of the economy, investigating election-related killings, and the implementation of other flagship programs have begun work.
For me, I think the consultative approach is very important. You need to engage, you need to listen, and then try and go through the information, try to process the information you receive, and then consult your internal management and see how you further engage. So for me, it's a positive step. I remember the case of safety, for instance. I was in the helm of safety with Dr. Durabe and all the key people, the governors of the central bank, Ministry of Finance, and also Pepe.
Way a year, 100 days. I'm not 30 days. 30 days. New man, what do you go away? Basha was said kind of for so within 30 days. Obetu Wanamo. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Obetu Wanamo. Ye resete kana, ye resete kana. Kana beti me. Aye. And I'm for the man I say, but Yatuabama Upia Ukuta plan papa. Upia will work in the sweating on. You catch the kana for Moshe Mutuaban. Said you Mutuabano. Sada Minister Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Measure the Bukan. I was say, no. Ora! Ubo the NMP before I draw you. Ubo already pair. Na a man for committee. Tiana di ora baye. Katasishana projani trim ne kaka. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Shekana for po. So woman is assassin woman Japadia could be baby on. Obeti. Oswa in Bosume Bako and then the Flamia says the Fian night. And then to one among at Chrekana for say, Ukukumutia with the man and say. Tina then now got to a bar, the catcher said to a papa, the year so free. In the Saba, when you got to you, what to a papa? Not when you're so bad. Because Ura John Mama Shepo. Say, what did 2 minutes, mamma? Me, Kwame John Dramani Mahama. Obi be a white kind of one sassy. And you can't new kind of mind yen sassy. Not a good for the maton to wait. State property. Nana the maton to one more. And the all rabbi, we compare. Na MPP for both. MPP for your own press conference now. But Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Some my kind of baby, a one nature. Ampa Otusa. Or take committee. And if you for Kukuda for. Now, almost see woman is so. Yeah, my own drawing, you defy him at the Shusha, the over form. Almost the human fair. And a man for Ghana for Sass, Ghana Massas, and I couldn't go for. Say your balloon in the Poma. and $21.49 billion. Me masam ne say, ya jinsa asino, some call for necessary more punishment. A woman say you call review, you call review. But I say some call for more punishment. Because on my mind no chrono, me or na ye dia ba medite ho. But bibia no me ye ho. Say, cause Ghana for ehwe no ho pa ne to aba. Yet ya Ghana say na amanfo aton wati. Government is asio na akufo do aton ama na busuafo. Uko kan se nton asase. But on na bo kuje to abra kwa hwehwe mu awode aba ne kire se. Ensase di amanfo wie bi papa. State property. Hey, o papanya wo ba ye wa wie wo maye japade bi si da. E yakufo do aban. Ene MPP. Nti wona bo kuje to abra kwa ta botu anamo oni kofi wache. Mo bo adwuma. Enura, se cases e beti wo mo ho no. Be ye 200 do sai. Na de se wo ma wie. No. Omo de honsam e de pass ni na yinti. Omo wie no do so mo kire tie akwakoto. Enuoma man saka no. Sika kan na ma beti enye be free. You bet me the free education. You bet me the baby Numa 21.49 billion. Officer at the Ketwa. And the Ghana cities dollars converted to Ghana cities. The Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So what's a kind of war bar who did the process? The uncle on a book which a black man the first table.
All of it had been allocated. But fortunately, when ORA was established, the Association of Vegetable Producers and Exporters reached out to us that's where they used to operate. Large portions of their facilities had been demolished, but their cold room was on the verge of being demolished. And so we called National Security, they moved in, and we have been able to save large portions. Only, I would say about 20% of the land has seen some development. Politically exposed persons are building hurriedly, but at least 80% has been preserved, and it is for the president to advise on what will happen because the documentation we have is that all of that land has been sold. And the sad part is that you will see from the report, some people, prime cantonment's land, paid as low as 42,000 cedis. 42,000 cedis for a plot of land. Some 160,000 cedis. And these government officials, MPs, ministers of state. So it was really just a giveaway. I'm sure the president and his advisors will decide on what to do with the rest of the land. Then we also collaborated with National Security to halt the attempted demolition of staff quarters belonging to the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. That is at the Osukuku Hill. That had also been sold, but thanks to our intervention, at least the demolition has been halted. The president and his advisors will decide what should happen to the staff quarters of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Then we take the view that this oral preparatory team concept offered a more structured and peaceful, non-confrontational channel for citizens to address concerns on the looting of state assets. Imagine what would have happened. We are all aware that transitions in Ghana tend sometimes to be acrimonious and even can degenerate into violence. So if Team Oral had not been established for people to have a formal channel to communicate their concerns, and they decided to take the law into their own hands, imagine what would have happened. So instead of the president being bastardized by a few people, I must say, the vast majority of Ghanaians welcome Oral and have commended the president, but a few people who are, raving and ranting, it's clear that this has really helped to ease tensions and to offer Ghanaians who are really coming face to face with looting to report. Number 9, Oral also created a platform for persons of interest to reach out, seeking an opportunity to refund and return what belongs to the Ghanaian people. Quite a number of persons of interest have reached out that they are willing, whether plea bargain or whatever approach, to just have their peace and return, or probably pay the real value for the land that has been given to them. So all of that is contained in the detailed report, and the president and his legal advisors will take a decision on the way forward. Finally, President Mahama's oral initiative has also attracted phenomenal local and international requests for forensic collaboration to recover the loot hidden offshore. We have received a number of international requests to support this initiative of the president in terms of forensics and to help in offshore retrievals, and all of that is documented in the report. It's for the president to decide on the nature of these collaborations. Some of them have said that it will not cost us anything. They may just ask for a little percentage of success recoveries, but I'm sure the president, the attorney general will advise on that moving forward. We want to conclude with some fascinating figures. The 36 cases that we have reviewed in detail, if we are successful in recoveries, we can retrieve as much as 20.49 billion United States dollars. 20.49 billion United States dollars. 36 cases, and that's from National Cathedral, PDS, SML. You have the GMPC salt pond decommissioning, and we decided that in this open session we will not go into greater detail, and so I want to be restrained. But there's a great deal of resources belonging to the taxpayers that can be retrieved. Then we've also done an estimate of the state capture, the lands. If we successfully ask people to pay conservative market value for the lands they have looted, again, the experts are telling us that we can recover about 702.8 million United States dollars for the Ghanaian people. That's if we just ask people, those who were paying 42,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 160,000 cedis, to pay the fair market value. Those are lands that $500,000, $600,000, you will even struggle to get cantonments land at that figure. So very conservative estimates. We take the view that if people are asked to pay the real market value, this is how much we can retrieve. So in all, just a summary, the 36 cases, the high amount cases that we put together, and then the land loot, potentially we can raise about 21.19 billion United States dollars. And that is far more than what we have been chasing the IMF for.
Why are 36 cases? 36 cases. You got 21.49 billion. Wow. Say yes, it's a your project. I'm saying 26 kind of. Where you new man could be MPP for, just a well crowd there, and yet the Abana Quachimon call for reporter on the call. The Casanana, where you could not be Montiasi. $21.49 billion. Convert to Ghana cedis. Sikamo Kromo, I bet you are Jama. Not Jenny Nam, a Kufuado. Sikamo, when you are quoting Confonia and yes, Sika for IMF. Near the Nam, near 3 billion for IMF. Ghana for Yadamasi kind. Yadamasi Damasiansa. Someone didn't kind of home. I'm not talking about the man, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Because we see honorable Okuche Traprapa. Name someone what can. Let's just say that not woman teacher. MPP, woman Baja Pro.
All of it had been allocated. But fortunately, when ORA was established, the Association of Vegetable Producers and Exporters reached out to us that that's where they used to operate. Large portions of their facilities had been demolished, but their cold room was on the verge of being demolished. And so we called National Security, they moved in, and we have been able to save large portions. Only, I would say, about 20% of the land has seen some development. Politically exposed persons are building hurriedly, but at least 80% has been preserved, and it is for the president to advise on what will happen because the documentation we have is that all of that land has been sold. And the sad part is that you will see from the report, some people, prime cantonment's land, paid as low as 42,000 cedis. 42,000 cedis for a plot of land. Some 160,000 cedis. And these are government officials, MPs, ministers of state. So it was really just a giveaway. I'm sure the president and his advisors will decide on what to do with the rest of the land. Then we also collaborated with National Security to halt the attempted demolition of staff quarters belonging to the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. That is at the Osukuku Hill. That had also been sold, but thanks to our intervention, at least the demolition has been halted. The president and his advisors will decide what should happen to the staff quarters of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Then we take the view that this oral preparatory team concept offered a more structured and peaceful, non-confrontational channel for citizens to address concerns on the looting of state assets. Imagine what would have happened. We are all aware that transitions in Ghana tend sometimes to be acrimonious and even can degenerate into violence. So if Team Oral had not been established for people to have a formal channel to communicate their concerns, and they decided to take the law into their own hands, imagine what would have happened. So instead of the president being bastardized by a few people, I must say, the vast majority of Ghanaians welcome Oral and have commended the president, but a few people who are, raving and ranting, it's clear that this has really helped to ease tensions and to offer Ghanaians who are really coming face to face with looting to report. Number 9, Oral also created a platform for persons of interest to reach out, seeking an opportunity to refund and return what belongs to the Ghanaian people. Quite a number of persons of interest have reached out that they are willing, whether plea bargain or whatever approach, to just have their peace and return, or probably pay the real value for the land that has been given to them. So all of that is contained in the detailed report, and the president and his legal advisors will take a decision on the way forward. Finally, President Mahama's Oral initiative has also attracted phenomenal local and international requests for forensic collaboration to recover the loot hidden offshore. We have received a number of international requests to support this initiative of the president in terms of forensics and to help in offshore retrievals, and all of that is documented in the report. This is for the president to decide on the nature of these collaborations. Some of them have said that it will not cost us anything. They may just ask for a little percentage of success recoveries, but I'm sure the president, the attorney general will advise on that moving forward. We want to conclude with some fascinating figures. The 36 cases that we have reviewed in detail, if we are successful in recoveries, we can retrieve as much as 20.49 billion United States dollars. 20.49 billion United States dollars. 36 cases, and that's from National Cathedral, PDS, SML. You have the GMPC salt pond decommissioning, and we decided that in this open session we will not go into greater detail, and so I want to be restrained. But there's a great deal of resources belonging to the taxpayers that can be retrieved. Then we've also done an estimate of the state capture, the lands. If we successfully ask people to pay conservative market value for the lands they have looted, again, the experts are telling us that we can recover about 702.8 million United States dollars for the Ghanaian people. That's if we just ask people, those who were paying 42,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 160,000 cedis, to pay the fair market value. Those are lands that $500,000, $600,000, you will even struggle to get cantonments land at that figure. So very conservative estimates. We take the view that if people are asked to pay the real market value, this is how much we can retrieve. So in all, just a summary, the 36 cases, the high amount cases that we put together, and then the land loot, potentially we can raise about 21.19 billion United States dollars. And that is far more than what we have been chasing the IMF for.
Very honorable Okuja Blackwa na ora 36 pages, 36 documents. What the mu asem abetu etwa. Sesika kana yebenya wo ora mu no $21.49 billion. And according to for nsase kakra, nsase $700 million. And 10. Cathedral no money o manioma ba we timusika. Omo keka no bo minus here 20.49 billion. Okokani na bom say 21.49 billion dollars. And yet million a billion dollars. Manya no akufu ado katre say yeti sika so na kwamotien. Sana wono mo wie sika no. Man munyina yaton kana. Honorable Kujato Manso or Dimika to the Kakoda, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I say, President, and so Edda, Honorable Kujato Blackama Kashin Transit, Uncle Sunya to my pap, and Famua on my cancer. And somehow, Wakaye,
1,493 calls through the toll-free line, 1,493. We also received 924 emails. Fortunately, all of these calls are recorded automatically, and all the emails have also been preserved for verification and validation. So in total, the number of complaints received amounts to 2,417. So those who had any doubt about how relevant and how timely the president's intervention was at the time, this is your evidence. 2,417 complaints received. Where will all of these people have gone if President Mahama had not set up the oral preparatory team? So President Mahama has been vindicated. It was a masterstroke. It was the right decision for our country, and it has deepened transparency and accountable governance. Over the last 53 days, we have reviewed these petitions. 44 were received directly from civil society organizations and other public-spirited citizens. 59 of the 230 cases reviewed containing the documents we'll be submitting today were cases that had come up during the period the NDC was in opposition. But we decided to go back to those matters and carry out a detailed review. And all of those are contained. So today we will be presenting a summary of these reports, 230 of them which have been analyzed in greater detail. Your Excellency, we also want to bring to your attention that even before we move to phase 2 of oral, which is going to focus on the actual recoveries, the actual retrievals. We have identified 10 initial benefits of oral, and we want to run through them quickly. We take the view that oral has deepened transparency and accountability. It has really increased public awareness about the need to protect state assets. And it is also serving as a guide to the new government. And government officials are now more conscious of the need to make sure that, as President Mahama has consistently said, charity begins at home. Secondly, thanks to the establishment of oral, we have been able to save 50 bungalows that were on the verge of being demolished. 50 bungalows. We received distress calls from public servants who said people had showed up, so-called private developers, to demolish their bungalows. And in the report, we have provided the detailed list of these bungalows, some belonging to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Gender, Social Protection, the CSIR, and all of that. But for the president establishing oral, we take the view that all of these 50 bungalows will have been demolished. So what we did is that when we received the complaints, the distress calls, we immediately called the National Security Committee. And we were very privileged because of the president's foresight. He strategically positioned COP Kofi Boakye in oral and also in the National Security Committee. So as soon as the reports come, he then relays the information to National Security Committee. So media, please get it clear. We are not saying that we, Team Oral, physically went to prevent demolition of bungalows. No, that was not part of our mandate. We were only to receive complaints. But as responsible, conscientious citizens, it will be irresponsible to receive the complaints and just allow those bungalows to be demolished. So immediately, national security is informed, and then they act. So please ignore all of those barrage of unfair and baseless attacks that Oral has suffered. We did not carry out any fiscal operation on the ground. We only report to national security, and then they act. We also collaborated with national security to save the Northern Development Authority lands at cantonments. A private developer overnight on the eve of the president's inauguration moved in overnight to erect a wall, divided the property into half. Some of you are conversant with that land. It's just opposite the U.S. Embassy, very prime land. That is where the Constitution Review Commission used to sit under Dr. Raymond Atuguba. It was allocated to the Northern Development Authority, and these private developers claim that it now belongs to them. But the staff of and they moved in, so we were able to save that land. National security has since demolished the wall, and so the land is safe for the Ghanaian people. We also collaborated with national security to halt state asset takeovers across the country. You see from the report that we have videos and pictures of vehicles whose number plates were being changed, and so that they will virtually steal them for private use. Again, acting on those tip-offs, national security moved in quickly and were able to save a good number, hundreds of these vehicles. Again, the list is provided in the report. There was also a clash at the Du Bois Center. We received a distress call that a private foundation was taking over. We immediately called national security. And so what we have done now is to ask that the factions should meet, and the new Minister for Tourism should resolve the matters. Again, if oral had not been established, only God knows what would have happened at the Du Bois Center. Number 6, we have also saved large portions of the agric mechanization lands at cantonments. Those of you who are conversant with that land, opposite the Elwak Sports Stadium, all of it had been allocated. But fortunately, when ORA was established, the Association of Vegetable Producers and Exporters reached out to us that that's where they used to operate. Large portions of their facilities had been demolished, but their cold room was on the verge of being demolished. And so we called national security, they moved in, and we have been able to save large portions. Only I would say about 20% of the land has seen some development. Politically exposed persons are building hurriedly, but at least 80%.
Where your oral report, which are yes, I want to change number plates. Women number can ha. Becan say DVL. Obia be register car, no one register. But then, to honorable report in the room say about 100 to 200 government cars and they're changing number plates. MPP, another with the papa. A good one with the canafo. Do you can Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ukuso, I said you must say, a reset. But yeah, a better be a say, what is the car? You're free or a man, and yes, a car, but it's a bed honorable or put the tabraka, and you see OP coffee boache, escort, and in penny for a camp, Attorney General. The woman has said, second a hot dog. And your grandpa, Omkutadima Cananti, Omotusan among Nasaja Pati, Yensa, and to me, Ebeka. I was a no clone. The next story, I will do. In fact, and the question was Russia picture. Otian wakometi. Joe ka. Intienne. Mr. Speaker Aban Smale Pape. Aton Safra Sofu Bimo. Peter Setanka Williams. Acha ceremony at the ade. Aton Safra Mubambra Sipikam. Samumra nye breakfast prayer. Now we Parliament in the sea. Na efekeke. Which means Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Amembuono. Nyame and the Kutakana. Sign the two Excellency the Atuja say. 6 months to 3 months bia. A soft of a bomb paget makana. When you fail the litter, Yakofas as upon some, the Kufa do never back, but we have a tear. A soft from commission in our near season. Suffer to me, Shanko, and then one cassa suffer. Mom is someone among free. And the wicked was so now cassa as a spirit to be a bold as for them. To tell walk as a cra, now we need a temperament. Suffer who should be pair as Shankoma, who was in any temperament. Attend who should be pair with a mic no cassa or cassa member monaso. Some can't and some command what to take. But then, Aban Saje, who said will be a castle bold. When me young for Danka Williams, so who can saw them no bridge here? It will be my yet to say, why you more. When me say Cassa. But then, Aban Sissa by ye, and no question Paya no bar, no who said yet. Or something like a Kelsey, yet to me. The approach for Beya Waha. They do 31st night. I'm all for it again. Which means come and a softener, which means the least be African a soften, and the can of suffer that womata, and the can of suffer Jana saw the more Cassa or Cassa Pember, because you twist us upon some and in the bed for so. And I saw for the program last year. Now, we could send him a baby was crossing. Not effect. Or software pagan night, or pagan and sat, not parliamentarian see, woman kick up, kabosh, the Omoyanos. What do you mean? Who say? I said, fair. And we are software. But when you what it will maybe now in Shankom. It will maybe not think as I was sorry for you. It will maybe work Cassa, no shrew. Or software by Cassa, nobody need to take, no one to take, what a tech will be back. Because damn paritative, damn paritative cannot suffer. It's in a cannot suffer be at me, Casa. But then they see breakfast meeting, you're going to correct.
Divine providence to acknowledge our need of you, recognizing that we cannot succeed at this parliament without the God factor being given attention to. And on that note, we give thanks.
Why I can so far and no call breakfast prayer about parliament. Then me bisa say asofia kwanye mpaabo and no better joka bi me bisa and no hwe mpaya owura danka Williams boya na asesuru pie nti na maswa bi bisa ne say and na mu betimi asanye joka bi because onyankopon bawuram na sebedwem ho ye wo hwe ye ayem na sebedwem Ghana Parliament Speaker and a tone safre. A sofa said, I'm running your breakfast prayer. I'm correct, yes. Sata ta 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 ta. Sakata ja. Who said your sofa not correct? Your sofa will pay when you're not corporate or tough. Comes. Hey! Sa sofa na kufa the mo papa. Sa suffer number Sambia better mo so na mutimi to and the mukam humbo once you two sam who's a can ayafufro who's a can this will be a free so who's a can new mabia na a shoka na mu two which means at theater form sending now so for one pay all never
Divine providence to acknowledge our need of you, recognizing that we cannot succeed at this parliament without the God factor being given attention to. And on that note, we give thanks.
Do you see what Mrasa became? And I'm in with your correct. The same se obema kana etiyi ye senya me se obema kana afa ne ntoma paifra te se mrebi atwam ansunya me Ghana resete send your school from kola asase resadi obi resadi ba kono Ghana asase resete asante do mama papa baby obi amitia amu nshira wate when she me mammy Lotina or Papa, a Hofedia, Mamma Yen Wanka, Yen Yatia, Madame. I mean, sure, what it? The memo is so different. Yamema with that check and yakase. Yame and throw with you moment flat on Kwaku. Ghana be Ghana, Monsieur Bede, you pay ye, and my mabun ye to my ye. And Maba when ye to my ye, and Kwalanya to my ye, a school from Kwalanya part-time job by ye. Uncle my Ghana, and to get part-time job will hang ye. But the Ghana entering your part-time job. How? Because of Bonnet and the Bonsambia, you didn't better than your son. Because of Owutini, Pia, you didn't better than your son. Ghana depend to me, Casa. But then, you fling Kwasuma, Kwasuma, you fling Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Adaboma, and the Ghana. I have son. Na Ghana, Bakoswa, day as a son of my Ghana. You remember your dinia cassette, Jelso, ye Ghana, dear, and the Benita Media couldn't be. And go where they are. Madam was no pressure. More dear ma excellency your mama pressure. Montamu bumma no kwai na on reset kana. Na kana yefe. Ame ye boga na dia. Yakase Kwame Nkrumah kana ni. And Independence Square 6 March. And so I'm council. Can't budget review, and that's if you're Independence Square and a budget. Oh, excellency, your mama. I mean, she know what it. Kwaku skate. I'm on for more from a walk on Ghana. Yeah, we have to pass people. Ghana, Menyango. Menyango. Yes, and come a cop, but Kevin Tennis and Prince and Kakrans and Theatre. Yenya, they are too old. Nanka me queen, but they are too old. The Pemuno, the Bessan Baba 10 years back, so much. The more from me, now walk up, the bear now back, the bear no more. Why? You were 4 years and a decade. 4 years to move time. And the meaning appear stadium. I want to say, you be all supposed for the Sramo. See about me, Kwaku. Michibuti, the Salutumo. And appear stadium can simply na a deal. Media Kwaku into me, Father. Well, man, some my bedroom house party because you're my member. Hey, and then I think I knew. A bedroom house on my palm. Hey, and then we see a Kwaku up here. Kwaku a champion Kawati. We see a vat. What's you on Jubilee House? What could be so much say? Or Yacha Massa? Said you could get Yacha Massa, man. Or no comparing there. Do I Jubilee House of opposing for your movement? Hey, what cancer, me best me put it on. What's it? Or call baby me a catcher and say, maybe a celeste, baby. When shot I did theatre said in the bed, but none of us, no beginning of winner, the bottom. Hey, a man for your quantro. But we get to my quantram here. Yeah, Mother, Yabro, put my quantram with me. May catch you out with your vessel. Yabra, papa. It is easy. And the appear quite a young one with fat. Papa, chief of staff, man of crime on brand new by my casa. Man of crime, because they be with your mind. One of the supposed to cherry. When you are here, when you do win out of some local, you be as a more permanent. The Pamacho. Appear stadium, the Mamma Yanis out. Appear stadium. Papa. What is it the big confiscate, my boy? Now, will be a man with me quiet demonstration. Hey, I just got my bro. Demonstration. I picture me and let me go home, baby. Now, what I quick get pa. Now, with say demonstration, many masha. Many masha, yeah. I will say, yes, our demonstration was DC. Kwaku, my bro, my bread. Chipos and Kabekano be bat and Yashi. Ghana, you did me. Pakwasi, it's out. Pakwasi, that would need to Pap, it's your wife. Would you remember you? Yeah, that's it. I person to see a cherry. Biscuit. Then can you? Demonstration be quite check. Hey, Uncle my bro. I person to my bread, but Kwaku skate make my bread. Papa. The movie I'm a produce of a picture to have a new checker amount for the fan. Sorry, why? Mammy, Japoma. Obami knew for picture the brand area. Sorry, the time was so. We the year grand near the amount Kusinam. Hey, I can store me back on my new. We your cook skate. But pretty say, you know, say. Cook skate, you know. We are Washington, D.C. Cathedral. Yeah. We are Cathedral, Washington, D.C. Mene Masha. Yeah, me no pe. Neme na Masha video. Hi. And now Washington, D.C. Obi said, you are at Washington, D.C. I don't know. Obi so also person here. Obi so ko bi Washington, D.C. Monica. Ana Monica ni ana. Monica Mensa, Monica. Esno ba ko na ko Ghana embassy no. Where you call a cathedral, Washington National Cathedral. Ba ko bi Monica me no na call. Any sister gift. No more and you call Ghana embassy. Kwaku get my bro. Oh, what come on to yo. Now here today, you Juma Makana. You're Tokana. Say, can't you see the Juma Makana? That's my prayer. Kana who don't. Yeah, Auntie Monica, Sister Monica, Nakasa, okay. Yeah, what come and I'm calling the demonstration with Ghana embassy. Satamano, not your Kotuapa. We will video no ha. Sister Monica, I will more video like a country on the kai. Because as an hour will be, yeah, what hopa. I mean, go ahead, video no me walk. Let them see your move. Demonstration, Pia, my no chroma because I video. Demonstration, Pia. My mention, I mean, one of my fans, sorry, the time I saw. I mentioned Washington, D.C., Ghana embassy. I'm a home picture. Any, yeah, make up.
Thank you. What's up? What's up? Take all this vigilante. You are brilliant. Let's go. Chabay! Hey! Chabay! Akufo-Addo! 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 It's a letter! 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 Bawumia! It's a liar! Bawumia! It's a liar! Bawumia! It's a liar! Osefumafo! It's a liar! Osefumafo! It's a thief! Osefumafo! It's a thief! Osefumafo! It's a thief! Bawumia! It's a thief! Ojo Ponkoma! It's a liar! 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 Akufo-Addo! It's a murderer! Akufo-Addo! It's a murderer! IGP! It's a murderer! IGP! It's a murderer! IGP! It's a murderer! Clear the wall! It's a murderer! IGP! It's a murderer! IGP! It's a murderer! Clear the wall! It's a murderer! Akufo-Addo! It's a murderer! Akufo-Addo! It's a murderer! Akufo-Addo! Oya Kwaku! Akufo-Addo! Oya Kwaku! Akufo-Addo! Oya
Akufado, stop the kill, Akufado. Stop the kill, Akufado. Stop the killing. 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 President Akufado. Stop the killing. President Akufado. Stop the killing. President Akufado. Stop shooting. Akufado. Stop shooting. President 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 of Ghana. 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 Stop shooting. It's a broad soccer. President of Ghana. President of Ghana. President of Ghana.
A video no to aso sa. The demonstration be a video is about the time. Satam Monica. Monica make a gifty, sister gifty. Mainland for what they say. One day some bow best round. And they family in an inquiry. One day maybe okay, the time as soon. Yeah, the ready in the now, in some people, one can some the twasso, but my for 2.5 hours. You need campaign time to answer program as a same uniform call. My fan of form and a form because you need campaign. Nemo, Medawase, I mentioned Chubri House, Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, a issue statement at the above one thing. So, one moment, MPP are buying a Kumamua, or from DBN to Hono, or Mate. Or from DBN to now, what we are, and what's Naya. That's a become myself. Because of Safmafo 2016, of Safmafo Cassette, Young Pam NDC for Fred Kumam, and the power season. And see, yeah, Papa, Madi Namibra Penny, Chief of Staff. Julius Kwesi Debra, the issue statement. Otiname ba, you become on some degree. And now, Otiname ba, you becasa. Actually, Excellency said, statement in Ibu ba, Monkani tree. And my yama mum won't grass or Matiasum at the power woyeno. Mubro na Dawson. Ghana, the minim say. Ukokabro for crown 1 of man, yes. But Kwesibro ni country, none of from the not when near Jim more correctness were yard. But when you can need young Fabro from the woman, you be cast on the way. But Oka Amos. Oh my God, is serious, Camera Shebimpo, because I see a country. You could talk about your quiet country. You could compare your quiet country. But you talk maybe a statement but not by your prof. As I see, you know, the time machine. We did ready in Abesia. Yamia Duma, or China, and Yumbre. We knew Bessia American time non song at the echo. And see, Oba, she video no. Open TV box and swata. But what in the frame, baby, will be a TV box on a star. You be a hobby brave, you be Kokana, Ghana, you be Kokon, the Akoton. And you want to make a be one with the ready in the Bessia, a crown. Ube home Apple 68 FM. And none of Kwaku is here, Medasua, ye, and to say, Krikasomawa. Ube who say, and now bay. Swam, and a dashing. And see, made the Uber come near her, say, Fox, a year, Juma. Fox, no, and then we are, I see. Come, with that. Fox, and then we. So, Messay at the war, aba ESPN. Osha ESPN and the so yeah, sure. Say ESPN. A year juma. Any and that's it. Come on. Born on movie. Osha. Basketball. And that's a tennis ball. And that's a come. Me call the baby in there because boss no. Aba baby say fufro na aba no. Me wo 4K. Na me wo 4K plus. And na me wo regular one. 4K plus no. Adwuma eye na no aten. Ni remote no. Enioma bebre we ye UTV Kenya. Me yehwe say UTV Kenya no. Eye adwuma. Producer Kremam UTV Kenya. Fatum ne yekade. Yehwe. Say ebi wo na enye adwuma na da so no. So and that's come. Young Kwaha. Be sports. More Mupe Premier League. Ball, Ashe. I have both ya upon her. Come. And that's it. So Nyamiadum, apples over boy, and no more boy. Come. Any life. And that's so. Say, come when you want to more than we do. Ubaha. Nyamiadum Apple 68. Any African businesses. Yeah, the BB son kwamba. And no sa we you suffer. We you be a wa kuta we your business wa ha. Send me video keke. Edumane video. You be update you ho. Say your African market. Say your restaurant. Say be a wire way. Who perceive the two TV no so mount. Ama manfo who say one so why way ye. Obi wa no onim so why ye. Send you be a wait any one sa body kakra. What the video ni bre the better so. Say we a barber shop. We a mechanic. What on cars. Dear we ye be a wo krom ha. Ya send the baby fufra ba. Ya de bua enkran konyuma wo krom ha. African businesses, churches. And your presby. You call the presby for video no more. Sorry, you hear that where you Kumasi market. Which I ended that way. Come on. What's it be in the Kumasi? Oh, Kumasi market. And that way, and that's your come. Yeah, boy. And till the catcher was said to Waba and my John Dramani Mahama. Gamia nearby or bar, yet to be side business in the baby fee. Namu Kranko Mukuta Munyuma. And see, we now Babaka. One we are to we be spot, we Ghana MTA, Ghana for TV Libya. So we are American TV, NBC, Uba, we are Ghana TV, 7 DSTV, and the Dahono. We are American channel, we are MNSBC. Yeah, you po, and the demono. So, boss, when Konya Yeno, Antina at the Chenya at the Saya, then the Fufro Bane, na Fufro na Abani the Education. A year the same Yomana, but to share Nimuna at a Sasha. So, and they come out, and even the whole clear one sample be near him, where ID Apostle Kodosafo TV3, Kesman TV. Wow, VH1, Bravo, a channel like you can papa. Bravo, na that's no. Osha UTV, UTV, and the that's no. What's our cost? UTV na say, come on, and that's it. Pay we na pay there. No more for 4. Oto wuntua monthly fee. Wuntua bosonu bia, a one-time payment. Oto anu say, what your farm TV no, the farm one na ye UTV na wo hwe. So Arresti, Ubaha, ION, African News, when you are Joy Premium, well, Joy Premium, and the end of that one, Joy, Yopo, and the season, and the Joy, BMPS show, and no more. So what time we have BMPS, the BMPS show, and no more. Upa, who are Ghana now, so Joy never said they make a the same thing, a live channel, and live television, and that's all. And one of the opposite high destination box. Braha GH1 and that's all. Well, BET, I am the channel pa. Wezo TV. Wezo TV and that's all. We former President John Dramani Mahama Kobe Bia. Nano Professor Jenano Pukwa Meka say, you know this channel. It will be your box will crew and around the world. Which will be so. And that's all. Toby from 703-270-8171. TV3, we have TV3, and that's all. Producer, TV3, man. Yeah, say a year, TV3, and the demo. Well, what I want to have who pay Premier League after Popa or Martin Mesre, Jebox CB. Now, with your box CB, I want to whom the Afro TV will fight and talk. You fight. Yeah, say a kutubo be custom, and let them know. A kutubo, rest, attentum, maybe boko, and let them know. Who talk about box will be a wound. No one is cheap, but a quality. I would talk about people say yes. And then say, yeah, the full bit grabber. Oh, Ghana Holland TV, Ghana Police, I'm part of the TV, Jimmy. Oh, B Sports, they won't be brave. Will be sports media. They want to bridge out and not ball. Premier League. Oh, and we Premier League live. We never recorded live Premier. Any and let them know. So, we cry. Almost say, young travel channel XYZ. Or never mama. People say ma. Nana ya Foliwa. Woman a good year papa be. Ubenya be possible. Ubenya was never one, Ubenya Mugab Massy. I can waha. In the yeah, sir, and that's all. In the Opa XYZ TV SYZ. Don't mean some and that's all. I have made my medal. J-Box CB, one-time payment. Otra, won't you have a summit? Opa Herbobia, Upebia free. In the Obaha, send us now, GTV, and the high, share in the sky.
Take a close listen to the words of Kennedy Japan some years back.
They say, Akufuado to say, a dria is siwa, any wow. Yes, what the Galam say. Oh, Madam. I'm telling you, main means from Akufuado to what to say. A dria is siwa any because ni rot. Galamsey. When it comes to Galamsey, Akufuado a rot complete.
This is a suggestion of corruption at the very core and root of Nanado himself. When it comes to Galamsey, there is one man who has been at the center of some of the biggest scandals that has ever hit this country since the MPP came to power. From PDS, Ejapa, and now illegal mining, popularly called Galamsey. It's the man Gabi Ochiri Dakom. On the 7th of April 2017, a few months after the MPP government came to power, Gabi took to Twitter and wrote this: "Posterity shall not forgive Akufo-Addo and our government if we don't win the war against Galamsey." A few months later, the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the gathering of eminent chiefs, made a solemn promise on Galamsey, saying this:
"I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said."
A couple of years down the line, and Ghanaians have learnt a bitter lesson. Instead of fight to end Galamsey, they have rather been the biggest supporters and defenders of Galamsey. And this is why. Ghanaians have been in a state of shock after a report by the former Minister of Environment, Professor Frimpong Boateng, which seeks to give credence to the realities of how the presidency and people close to the president are neck deep in the business of destroying the country. The report exposes the president and vice president, presidential staffers, and many others in the destruction of our forest and water bodies in the name of Party Hiansika. This report, written by Professor Frimpong Boateng, was sent to the presidency years ago, and until recently leaked by the loud silence media, the presidency did nothing about its content. Note that the author of the report is Professor Frimpong Boateng, a specialist heart surgeon, the founder of the Ghana Heart Foundation, as well as the head and founder of the Cardiothoracic Center at Kolebu, who was the head of the Ministry of Environment, which oversaw all the fights against Galamsey in the first place. This is a man who has authority, unblemished integrity, and most importantly, oversight responsibility over the fight against Galamsey. One of the names mentioned in this report is the name Gabi Otredakon, who is a lawyer for one Donald Ensure, the owner of C&J Alaska and Heritage Imperial. It turns out that as far back as 2016-2017, these companies have been involved in illegal mining, polluting and destroying our water bodies, and the records will show. On the 29th of November 2016, Dr. Tony Orbin, former CEO of Minerals Commission under the NDC administration, cautioned C&J Alaska against engaging in illegal mining on their prospecting license. Again, on the 30th of January 2017, Dr. Tony Orbin wrote to C&J Alaska to caution them against engaging in illegal mining without requisite permits and approvals. In 2017, this company, headed by Donald Ensure, was reported by the head of Mineral Commission as engaging in mining without the right documents. Donald Ensure's company, C&J Alaska and Heritage Imperial Limited, have a long history of abusing mining permits, causing destruction of Ghana's forest reserves through illegal mining activities under the pretext of a prospecting license. Before now, on the 2nd of October 2017, John Peter Amewu, MPP's own Minister for Lands and Natural Resources then, wrote to C&J Alaska regarding the Druabu concession and directed them not to carry out any mining operations in the concessions until their mining lease has been ratified. Donald Ensure and his Canadian partner owned C&J Alaska Limited, which operated mainly in the Diasu Forest Reserve in the Dencho-Obuasi area. It has been said that Major Mahama died protecting the Galamsey concessions of this very company Gabi is affiliated to, whose illegal mining activities was destroying Dencho-Obuasi and was being protected against the interest of the people of Dencho-Obuasi, who meted out their anger on Major Mahama, an innocent man who most likely had been sent there by higher powers. In the report and consequent responses, Professor Frimpong Boateng cited this company as engaging in illegal mining. He mentioned that at the time, government had banned all mining activities. Since mining was banned, they were stopped. This angered Gabi. Prof said to his shock, mentioned that Gabi Asari Otredakon, who he expects to know better as a lawyer, called to defend the company that actively destroyed our environment, especially the forest and river Ofin in the Apaprama and Krobo forest. After the report leaked, we can hear Gabi here pretending he did not know that at the time he called, government had banned all mining and what his client was doing in the forest was illegal.
I have a client who has all the documents or permits and licenses required to do prospecting, everything. And he goes on site, and then soldiers come to basically not just stop them from working, but to seize all the equipment. So I asked the minister, but they have permits, so what really, I want to understand the issue. And then the minister fires back and says, they are not prospecting, they are mining.
Was Gabi not trying to use his influence as the nephew of the president to force the hands of Professor Frimpong Boateng to allow the illegality against our forest and water bodies to continue? Why would Gabi resort to telling clear lies? Did he, Gabi, not know that the said company only had a prospecting license which is not used for mining? Did he, Gabi, not know that there had been a ban on all mining activities by government? What else would cause Gabi to call the minister and throw his weight around? Did he, Gabi, not know that there has been previous letters to the very company from Mr. Orbin and Mr. Amewu at different times since 2016 to stop illegal mining? Why the deliberate attempt to use his position to intimidate the minister and continue destroying our forests and waters through illegal mining? Both Donald Ensure and Gabi Otredakon are enemies of the state and collaborators in a criminal conduct. The time has come for action to be taken against these enemies of state. We cannot allow them to continue to compromise the future of the country and the well-being of our people.
They say, Akufuado to say a dria is siwa any healing. Any wow. Yes, with the Galamsey. Oh. Madam, I'm telling you, means from Akufuado to what to say. A dria is siwa any because ni rot. Galamsey. When it comes to Galamsey, Akufuado a rot complete.